At a grand event attended by thousands, a young man in a simple robe stood among the crowd. He was known as a devoted monk, living a life of discipline and meditation, yet his heart was always filled with unanswered questions. He came to the event not seeking fame, but because of rumors about an old, wise imam who would be speaking there. The old imam sat calmly on the stage, a gentle smile gracing his face. As the monk approached, he felt an inexplicable sense of peace emanating from the imam. A conversation began. "My brother," the imam said in a soft voice, "what are you searching for in your life?" The monk paused for a moment, then replied, "I am seeking the truth. I have walked the path of meditation, fasting, and solitude, yet my heart remains restless. I want to understand the essence of life and humanity's relationship with the Creator." The imam nodded slowly. Truth is simple, yet often shrouded by confusion and habit. God is near to every heart that sincerely seeks Him, and the path to Him does not always have to be through solitude. Sometimes it comes through devotion and surrender in everyday life. The conversation went on for a long time. The old imam spoke of compassion, justice, and the peace that comes from obedience and servitude to God. His words did not just reach the monk's ears, they penetrated his heart. He felt a new light within himself, something he had been searching for unconsciously all this time. That day, amid the clamor of the grand event, the monk made a profound decision. He bowed his head, stepped toward the old imam, and in a calm yet firm voice said, "I want to follow this path. I want to become a Muslim." The imam smiled, placing his hand on the monk's shoulder, and said, "Welcome, my brother. Your journey has just begun, and the peace you seek will come with your faith and devotion." From that moment on, the monk left his old robe behind and embarked on a new journey as a Muslim. He continued to seek peace, but now his heart was no longer restless. He found answers in faith and sincerity, and his spiritual journey became brighter than ever before. That night, after the grand event had ended and the crowd began to disperse, the monk, now a Muslim, sat under a shady tree, gazing at the sky filled with stars. The old imam approached, carrying a cup of warm tea. He sat beside him, silent for a moment, letting the quiet fill the air. "Why is your heart so restless even though you have found the path?" the imam asked gently. The monk lowered his gaze, his fingers playing with the folds of his new robe. "I am afraid," he said, "afraid that this new faith is just another illusion. I am afraid of leaving behind everything I knew, every discipline that has been part of my life." The old imam smiled, his eyes glowing softly like candlelight. "Fear is human, my brother, but faith is not about being perfect or free of doubt. Faith is about continuing to walk even when the heart trembles, continuing to seek even when the path seems unclear." The monk looked at the imam's face. "I want to feel that peace, truly feel it, not just in meditation or old rituals." "Try," said the imam, "open your heart completely. Prayer is a conversation with God. Every word you speak, every sincere intention, is a step toward the light you seek." That night, under the dark yet starry sky, the monk closed his eyes and began to pray. His words were simple, sincere, yet each utterance penetrated the depths of his soul. His heart felt light, like snow melting in spring. He felt a peace he had never found even after days of meditation. The old imam gently patted his shoulder. "Remember, true peace does not come from solitude or inner struggle alone, but from sincerity, devotion, and love for God and His creation. Your journey is still long, but the light has guided you to the first step." The monk opened his eyes, gazing at the twinkling stars. He smiled. For the first time in his life, the long accompanying restlessness vanished, replaced by a faith flowing through every breath. He knew his spiritual journey had just begun, yet he now walked with a heart full of hope and conviction. From that night onward, he was not only a new Muslim, but a seeker of true truth, finding answers in prayer, devotion, and the sincerity he had longed for. And with every step he took, he always remembered the simple yet wise old imam who had kindled the first light in his heart. The first days after embracing Islam were not easy. Many questions arose in his mind. How could he adjust to the new acts of worship, the prayers, and a lifestyle so different from before? Some old friends from his monk days came to see him, looking at him with confusion and a hint of regret. "Did you abandon your path just like that?" one of them asked, his tone full of concern. He only gave a weak smile. "I haven't abandoned the search. I have just found another way to answer it." Yet in his heart, restlessness remained. One night, after prayer, he sat alone in the mosque courtyard, gazing at the pale moon. "Am I good enough? Can I truly understand these teachings?" he murmured. The next day, he decided to visit the old imam who had first guided him. The imam welcomed him with a warm smile, as if he had already read the hidden doubts. "Doubt is a faithful companion of the seeker. Do not fear it, but let it guide you to learn more deeply," said the imam. The former monk began to pursue his path with greater seriousness. He learned to read the Quran, studied the meaning of each prayer, and understood the values of compassion, justice, and patience as explained by the old imam. Every day felt like inner training, sometimes difficult, sometimes confusing, yet always leading him toward a serenity that slowly penetrated his heart. One day, while helping an elderly neighbor clean her yard, he felt something extraordinary. His heart was filled with peace, not because he had done something grand, but because his intention was sincere, helping selflessly. He realized that the spiritual path was not only about prayers and worship, but also about tangible actions that spread goodness. Day by day, month by month, he grew more steadfast. Doubts still appeared occasionally, but now he could greet them with a smile rather than fear. He discovered that faith was not merely belief, but a journey, a practice, and devotion that continuously developed. The old imam, who had always been his role model, once told him, "God's light can illuminate anyone's heart at any time. Your path may be different from others, but as long as your heart is sincere, every step you take is an act of worship." Now, the former monk stood in the midst of his new community, not as a stranger, but as a Muslim learning, striving, and finding peace in every step. He realized that his spiritual journey did not end at a single point, but continued like a river flowing, gentle yet strong, bringing life and serenity to every place it passed. The spiritual journey of this former monk teaches us that the search for truth knows no bounds. Sometimes, we must have the courage to step out of our comfort zone, face our doubts, and open our hearts to learning something new. From meditation to prayer, from solitude to devotion, every step is a journey toward true peace. If this story inspires you, remember, everyone's spiritual journey is different, but sincere intentions are always the light that guides us. Don't be afraid to ask questions, don't be afraid to learn, and don't be afraid to change. Share this story with your friends and write in the comments. What small step will you take to move closer to inner peace? See you in the next video, and keep walking with an open heart.